Well, making firewood does heat you up twice. 3 times actually. When you gather it, when you process it, and when you burn it. Let me set up for you. But first, let me get a few things. As in any real life survival situation, everything is multi-purpose. My cutting bench here is also my chair. And my gloves are also my knee pads, which I didn't use. Hey guys, this is the Ganzo GSA01-YE. Like that, right? An axe by Gonzo. Now, all you guys who've been following my channel know that I am a big fan of Gonzo tools. Why? Well, quite easy. They cost very little money, and they are great tools. Excellent tools, I would say. And when this came out, I was very curious. It came out about, I think, 1.5 to 2 years ago, maybe. But I couldn't get it. Dealers wouldn't ship it over here. It wasn't in stock at Ganzo. And about, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, I got it. Now this is not just the axe, the hatchet. This is a kit. Comes with the sheath, which is this yellow plastic, which I've dropped a number of times on purpose and by accident. It comes with the saw, which lives here in the handle if you so choose to. Latched quite safely with these 2 Cordura straps and a button snap. And in the sheath you also have a small ferro rod, which, just for demonstration purposes, got my Mora, and it produces sparks. I prefer light my fire simply because of consistency. I know that all light my fire steels will perform the same, but this is a neat thing to get in addition to the axe and the saw. Now, the axe, the hatchet, is a design copy, I think, of the Fiskars X7, I think. I've sharpened, I think, 2 or 3 Fiskars X7 and 1 X5. I worked with 1 modified X7, and you know what? Even that modified one, which had a convex grind on it, didn't do as well as this one. Now, I never bought a Fiskars because they can get quite expensive over here. Let me scooch over out of the sun. I'll be a bit closer to you. There you go. A bit better. They can get quite expensive, the Fiskars. And now I got one. There's a store here in Romania which sells these, and I was very excited. I didn't really know what to expect. I said, well, Fiskar's familiarity. Yes and no. Much like with their folders, when they copy a design, I think they improve it. I like the fact that I have a saw in the handle. Why? I don't use this saw. It's okay-ish. You can saw through wood. I'm not gonna make a demonstration. It hangs. The teeth are all aligned, and I got accustomed to my Laplander, which has the teeth going through one side and to the other side, so it does not stick in the wood. This one kind of does, and it's pretty flimsy. But it's a saw you can use. You can definitely use, you can get by with this. If you're gonna get this kit for camping, for I don't know what, it's not a bad deal for the money you pay for it. You have this sheath, which is pretty endurant. You have the saw, you have the fire steel, and then you have this little beauty, the hatchet, which does an excellent job. Just gonna put these here to the side and close the straps. Now I've worked with this. I've tested it and I split wood and I also hit a nail, as you can see. What surprised me about the Ganzo axe was the fact that the edge angle was slightly smaller than with the Fiskars. And it was finished. So the very edge, when it was new, was not covered in paint. And now the paint's starting to wear off. It was sharp. I worked with it out of the box. And the other hatchet that I did not bring out today is my Urnieta, which is made for cutting, not splitting, for chopping, not splitting. And of course this is gonna be a much better splitter. It's got this wedge shape and it's gonna split. Now, clean beech wood that was dried in controlled conditions, that's easy. This stuff, as fibery as it is, this is difficult. But what surprised me was the fact that the grind was better than the Fiskars, and it got in really deep bites. I used the pole of the axe head to hammer in wooden stakes, metal nails, because you know what? I have two Gransfors Brooks, and they say don't use the head to hammer in metal stuff. Maybe, maybe not. I have my Husqvarna carpenter's axe. If it's a tool, why not use it as a tool? Why worry about it? You pay $100 or $150 and you feel the need to worry about not damaging the tool. If I chip my Urnieta, I will probably fix it. If I chip the Ganzo, I won't. Now I did take a few misguided swings, and I have a few microchips and this big one. Not a problem. I have my on-the-go sharpening kit right here. And in that kit I have my DC4. And with the diamond side, I'm gonna proceed to take the burr off very lightly, not really caring if I scratch the paint or do anything else. Burr is off. I can't even remember the steel. It's fairly soft, I can tell you that much. There you go. It's improved over what it was. Now, a thing that I like with the hatchet is when I split wood, that I can just do this and the hatchet will stay in the piece of wood. Some won't. And this is what I strive for when I'm saying a good grind for a hatchet or an axe. It should be able to split, get good penetration in a piece of wood in case I want to, let's say, whittle something, do something a bit more controlled, and it to be easy to wield, and I can actually split some wood with it. Now the Urnieta does exceptionally well. I thought it was going to break at some point because it's so thin. I'm not worried about this one breaking because it's so thick. Yes, it'll need more attention to keep it sharp, but at the same time, it's about 40% of the price, 30% of the price of the Urnieta, or it's what? It's 20% of the price of a Gransfors Brook. Now I do not know how resistant the handle will be. For the Fiskars, this has been tested and retested and retested by people. This I don't know. So far, no issues, and I am deliberately hitting it so that it'll stick in the wood and then twisting it to see if it'll break. I do not envision myself taking this on a long hiking trip. If I need an axe, I don't take axes on hiking trips. Camping trips, yes, but I'm a big advocate of knives, survival or big knives, like Essie, you know, no questions asked warranty, and splitting wood with knives. Why? It's safer. You can baton a knife. If it's a good knife, it'll split wood very decently. It's gonna be safer because you're not swinging the knife. The worst thing could happen if you didn't test your knife and you don't rely on it, don't know if you can rely on it, you'll break the knife, but you won't hurt yourself as you could with something like this. I try to be as careful as possible when working with hatchets, but sometimes I do catch myself not being very careful with them simply because I'm in a rush. Hatchets and axes are great tools, but they are very dangerous. So I have spent the last years since I bought the wildlife hatchet trying to learn and to get accustomed to working safely with hatchets and axes. Great tools, and this one, like all other Gonzo tools, has impressed me. For the price you pay for it, I can't find a single flaw. The only thing I can complain about is the fact that if you keep the saw in the handle when you split wood or chop with it, that it will jiggle inside the handle and it feels like the handle's loose on the head. That was the impression that I had first time I used it. Other than that, the sheath is bulky, but it is definitely high visibility, and it'll keep the axe in here. You can twist this loop around and put it on your belt or on your backpack. So overall, a great package for what I would consider a little money. I am thinking about getting another one simply because they're so inexpensive, and maybe keeping that in my car in case of a instant barbecue somewhere, and having this one modified a bit, dropping the edge angle so that'll penetrate even better in wood, but not thinning it out so that I still get that splitting capability. As a hammer, like I said, I've used it. I've also used it to hammer on my Ganzo G745. Wanted to make a V-notch in a piece of wood, and I said, I do have my Ganzo. I keep testing and working with my Ganzo knives simply because if they break, they're easily replaceable for very little money. And if they don't, well, I just know I have a very, very reliable tool. As I think so far is the case with this one. Not sure about the handle, but I do enjoy the synthetic handles with the traditional wooden handled axes, which I like, which are far more beautiful and can be far more ergonomic. There is a drawback. I'm never going to leave my Gransfors or my Husqvarna or my Urnieta in the sun sticking in a piece of wood. But with this one, I have no issues. Partly because it costs very little money, and partly because it's a synthetic handle. This is forever, unless you break it, so the sun will not affect it as much as it will those other axes. Of course, if you treat your axe handles well with linseed oil and so on and so forth, you're not going to have that issue, but with this one, you're not going to have any issues. And sharpening it, I keep it to sharpness where it catches my finger. I work with it, and then I'll sharpen it whenever using the diamond side of my DC4. And I think one time I did making shaving sharp by using the ceramic side of the DC4. I don't feel the need to. If I want to use an axe for whittling, I have my Urnieta. If I want to sharpen this for whittling, I think I could very easily. It's a very soft heat treated steel, which is good. That's why this chip happened. It bent, and I corrected it with either with the back of the G745 or with my steel hone. I don't remember, but I used something steel and just broke off that bent piece, and then I used a stone to smoothen everything out. And I'm probably not going to fix this chip. It's a working axe, very little money, and I enjoy tools like this. You pay little money and you get a lot out of them. So guys, this was a short impromptu test and presentation about the Ganzo GSA01-YE and the kit surrounding it. Like I said, the saw, you can do stuff with it, but once you're accustomed to a better saw like the Laplander, I never tried a Silky, but the Laplander does an excellent job. And the ferro rod, it's there, so it's a good kit for a little money. If they would sell solely the axe with the smaller sheath, Cordura, I would get it. Even if it was for the same amount of money. I would prefer a smaller Cordura sheath. But as such, you can get a nice leather sheath for it, or just make something out of duct tape or something. And the saw, you know what? It's a saw. You can cut through things with it, but you need to be very careful how you hold the wood. So. I don't have a very good grip on the wood. I did make a nice notch, and I could have went through the piece of wood very easily, but it tends to bend a lot and stick in the wood. But you know, like I think it's the Gerber Gator that has a small knife in the handle. It's a small knife. It can be useful. The Gerber Gator axe, I think. I'm not sure. One has, the longer one has a saw, and the shorter one has the knife. Just like the Fiskars X5 and X7, so basically just like this one. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little presentation. If you have any questions or comments about this or suggestions, let me know. I will probably keep the saw in here, wrap something around it so it doesn't jiggle anymore. Other than that, I just take it off with the sheath, put it together. You're not going to lose this in the woods. You're really not going to lose this in the woods. You're going to see it everywhere. And me as well, I guess. Hope you liked the video. I'd like to thank you for watching, and as always, I wish you all a great day.